I've always been into biohacking and getting the most out of your health, your longevity. That is even one of the reasons that I created Evolve in the first place. Now, I just had prolotherapy done on my Achilles. Quick backstory of that. It's an injury that I couldn't get rid of. About 7 years ago, I did about 4 hours of double unders. Sounds ridiculous. It is. Don't recommend it. I was just seeing how many I could get. And when I got my certain amount, I tried to beat it and went on and on. Anyway, 4 hours later, not good. The next day I woke up and I could barely walk, because you don't go from not doing that to doing 4 hours of double unders. And the problem is that day I had to run the Tough Mudder. So was it like 26 Ks I had to run on already damaged Achilles? Again, not the most ideal situation, but I strapped it up, did it anyway. Since then, it was never the same again. Anyway, fast forward 7 years. Dr. Satbir, who has a fantastic location of Ageless Clinic in the Avenue here in Darwin. It's got cryotherapy chambers, infrared saunas, a bodysuit that I'll be trying out soon. I'm excited to do, and I'll actually vlog that as well. And it is electric currents to your muscle to get more neurological contraction of the muscle, hyperbaric chambers, and so on. It's an amazing place. I went to him to have prolotherapy after having PRP therapy on my shoulder years ago that fixed it like that. Prolotherapy is basically, well, let him explain it.
So prolotherapy comes from the word proliferative therapy, which is meaning that you heal a damaged organ like a tendon or a ligament or a bursa by making the tissue more inflamed. So we inject inflammatory liquid like sugar, which is dextrose. It's about injecting the liquid which will make the tissue inflamed temporarily. Yeah. With inflammation comes more blood supply, more healing. Yeah. So with blood supply comes stem cells and the platelets, and they start to mend any broken bits.
And is that so? So if you've got an inflammatory problem somewhere, like in the belly of a muscle, it heals relatively quickly. But this would be more advantageous for something like ligaments, tendons, because of low blood flow.
That's right.
How does that cause more blood flow to come to that area? Obviously, that inflammation. But say, for example, my Achilles is already inflamed.
Yes.
So how is it that this draws more of the healing properties to the Achilles?
So your Achilles currently was chronically inflamed. So there's a low level of inflammation which has happened from continuous breaking of the fibers.
Yeah. Okay.
Because comes an age where we break and we don't repair. Our ability to heal is diminished as we're aging, and that is because of various reasons. The energy in the cells is not enough to heal. So that chronic inflammation is damaging. But what we do with prolotherapy is we make it acutely inflamed. We make the inflammation worse by maybe 10 times, maybe 100 times, just by making it more inflamed by putting dextrose in there.
Yeah, okay.
So this is more acute inflammation. With acute inflammation comes the healing cells, which chronic inflammation, by the way, does not bring the healing cells.
Yeah, right, okay. That's interesting.
So chronic is like more than 6 months.
Yeah, okay.
It's ongoing bad inflammation.
So that's a good example that inflammation can actually be good and advantageous if you can get a quick heal from it.
That's right. The acute inflammation is good for you. The chronic is bad for you.
Would that be a good, if someone continuously consumed sugar through dietary levels and they had a form of chronic inflammation via the sugar, is that a form of
chronic inflammation? That's a form of bad inflammation, and so is cancer. It's all that comes from chronic inflammation.
Really?
Yes. So and you can check it by a test called CRP, and levels around 5 and 6, that's chronic inflammation. Levels when you had septicemia, that's in hundreds, that's acute inflammation.
Yeah, that was 200 and
something.
But
that is acute inflammation. So when you're injecting prolotherapy, you're causing a sort of acute inflammation, not to the point where you had, but somewhere in between chronic and septicemia, that in between there, and that sort of inflammation would drive all the healing cells like platelets and stem cells.
Yeah, so it's almost put the healing higher up on that priority list for the body.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
There we go. As if like you're underwater and you need to breathe, suddenly that becomes a priority. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, well, editing this video, I can tell a lot of people are going to get really squirmish because of the injections. I just want to reassure you that actually doesn't hurt whatsoever. And the reason for this is really smart. Dr. Satbir adds a low level of anesthetic to it so he can feel, is this the part that's tender? Yes. He injects it and it feels absolutely fine, meaning that the anesthetic's done its job, so it's injected in the right place. Smart. So if you have one of those niggling injuries you just can't get rid of, go down to Ageless Clinic, go book in, see Dr. Satbir, and take advantage of your body's ability to heal itself, and don't put up with it.